How are you?
Good, you good?
Let me sit by you. All right. Oh, no, Jack's not here.
It's okay.
Live on the wild side, go to a different seat. I haven't made that jump yet.
I am gonna go to a different seat than what I normally sit in. Just keep you on your toes.
It's funny how that is, you get different groups, it's like you get a seat, it's like, it suddenly becomes a permanent assignment.
Yep.
Especially that Sunday shoot. Yeah.
Just
Are
making
we
sure
ready?
we were ready.
I'd like to call to order the Economic Development Corporation meeting for the city of Whitehouse on May 16th. It is 12 p.m. Susan, would you please call the roll?
Yes, sir. Charles Parker.
Here.
Bob Breedlove. Ernie LaFleur.
Here.
John Chambers. Maria Davenport. Tom Trimble.
Here.
And Jerry Akins.
Here.
We have a quorum.
Good. Item B is the consent agenda, approval of the minutes of the EDC meeting on April 18th of 2024. I propose approval of the minutes as presented. Have a motion?
Second?
Have a second? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, the motion is approved. Item C is presentations. Don't have any. Public forum, no one is here. Item E, agenda items, update on the EDC website.
Yoo-hoo.
Do you want me to
Sure.
start? Or
That'd be good.
you can start.
Go ahead.
Okay, well, we, as you know, last meeting, you all approved for us to contract with the, with ETCOG to start on a website for the EDC, and we met with them yesterday. And we have a proposed schedule. We went over some of the items that we would like to have on that website. I'd also like to, you back up just a minute. Lindsay Vanderbilt is with ETCOG, and that's who we met with. She will be the person building our website. She and one other staff member handle all of their websites and also have begun to produce websites for entities outside of their organization. She seems very knowledgeable. We were all really impressed with her, so I'm glad she herself will be handling our site. Of course, we'll have a homepage, we'll have an About Us, we'll have a workforce development, community development, resources, and then, of course, a way to contact us. That's what we're starting out with. We will eventually bring in news and insights and industries as well. Our timeline is pretty tight. We're gonna try to keep with it, see how it goes. It looks like we had our initial meeting yesterday. In about 2 weeks, this information collection and decide on initial features, which I think technically that's what we did yesterday, so we should be good there. July, we should hopefully have a proposal from her on what the website will look like.
Okay.
We'll have a progress meeting and hopefully launch in August. So that is pretty tight timeline, but we are going to do our best to stick with that.
So one of the things when we met with Ms. Vanderbilt yesterday, I think probably my biggest concern I'm taking on website development is the development of content, right? I mean, having someone develop the website is the easy part, it's the content development that's the hard part. But as we were talking yesterday, because she manages the website, works closely with Texas workforce here in the East Texas area, she has those contacts and that information that we can kind of pull over from some of their information and make it look like ours, as well as community profile like Encore's provided. And her husband is Chuck Vanderbilt, who used to be in economic development with ETCOG and is now with the workforce at ETCOG. So she was going to kind of pull in some information from him. So I think I felt a lot better after leaving that meeting yesterday on the content development side. I think she'll be a great resource for us. Had we gone with like a large website developer, we wouldn't have that localized information that's specific to this area, so I'm really thankful for that. She also helps manage the information for the East Texas Economic Development District, so all of that information will be pulled in. So I think they'll be a great partner in the website development and develop us a quality product. It's gonna look great. So also with that, so the city is in the process of doing a redesign on the city's website, and so one of the things we talked about was making sure like our color palettes matched and that we had a similar feel. And so while we want it to be apparent that it's two separate entities, we also kind of want it to show that we are one community as a whole. And so I think we're really excited about what that design is going to look like, and we'll keep you posted as we get more information.
That is exciting. The Workforce Resource is a good partner for us in
Yes.
there.
She does seem to have a lot of resources that even we may not really have.
But will.
But we will,
Now,
yes.
because of her.
Yes.
On things like the big new park, is there a name for that new park, by the way?
Not yet, no.
Okay, that, I'm sure that'll be a big thing, but anyway, for that new centerpiece park, now that's not an EDC thing, but it could be very interesting to people looking to be here, so
Yeah.
will there be links to information on that and so forth?
So part of our discussion yesterday was kind of, what is Whitehouse's story? What are we really looking to tell? Who do we want to be on this website? And I think, one of the things we hit on the most is our quality of life initiatives. We're doing, on the city side, a ton of quality of life initiatives that are going to greatly impact economic development, because this is where people want to live. So why not work here too and save yourself a little bit of that commute? And so there will be some ties, and you'll probably see a very strong effort to promote our quality of life.
Perfect.
Great.
Our strong school districts, what we're doing in parks, here on East Main, some of those kind of things.
Excellent.
Nice.
Let the record show that at 12:02, Bob Breedlove has joined us. Welcome, sir.
Thank you.
Was everybody comfortable with the direction that's taken?
I love it.
Any other comments? Wow.
Well, I'll make a comment.
Okay.
I know, I'm always so bashful about comments.
I know, you do.
Don't hold back.
But, I mentioned last time, and I still think it's something worthy of consideration, and that's that, a centerpiece park like that, it will be such a cool venue for potential professional buildings, that I'm wondering whether a sliver of that couldn't be purchased by the EDC or something to offer a location for a higher end office building or something to actually be located at Whitehouse. Just a thought. Something that, cause that could be a really premier venue to be adjacent to.
And you're talking about the park in Shahan Ranch, Ernie, or are you talking about?
Whatever we're calling that new
Okay.
park. I'm just on the concept stage at this point. I don't have any, I'm just throwing out, should a consideration of some sliver of that be for some kind of economic development purpose, like
Like an office
professional
building or.
or, I don't think it'd be a shopping venue, it'd be a professional building that, boy, there are lots of, professional firms and stuff that would love a suburban location with, adjacent to a park or something, could be a really premier spot for something like that, and could cause you to draw something out of Tyler that you wouldn't otherwise be able to pull off if you didn't have a.
There's a lot of nice office buildings right by parks.
Yeah.
And,
And that's a premier spot.
My only concern with it is all access is gonna be through residential neighborhoods. So that's a little bit of a challenge.
That's a good idea if you develop the land down on Hagan though, along.
Yes, absolutely. That's why I asked, cause I wasn't sure if you were talking about on Hagen Road.
Well, then that was mentioned, yes, I have it, that's an excellent point, yes. Maybe that's a better
Hagan
place to
would
consider
be
that.
perfect, yeah.
If you
Right
look
there.
at the beginning of Shahan Ranch that comes right off of 346, those first few lots there are commercial lots.
So the city also did get,
Oh, turn them on, sorry, yes, yes, I can turn them on, that's what you're asking.
we can talk about some of this as part of our executive session, so, but these lots here
Oh, okay.
are now under the control of the city.
Ah, how much land roughly does that?
I think it's 6 acres
Okay,
total.
so it's not crazy that you could have room for it.
Where's the park compared to that? It's further north, right?
Yeah.
Right there, okay.
Where the pond is at.
I
But
think
it does not include the pond.
It's what?
Does not include the pond.
Does not include the pond.
it's around the pond.
It's a round pond. It was
The
this parcel
HOA's
here.
you still maintain the pond?
That is correct.
But
Oh,
look
yeah,
at,
because last time you said you were gonna have some discussions with them, obviously they didn't go quite the way you.
So we had an HOA meeting, I went and talked to them, they needed 21 ballots to be cast in order to change their bylaws, that was the minimum number. And there were only 20 ballots cast, 15 for, 5 against, so.
well, looking is free.
So you're one ballot short? So will y'all keep trying on that?
We will, so I think we'll keep revisiting it, I think some of the neighbors have some concerns, and it's not uncommon about what kind of traffic that's gonna bring by putting in a park back there. But I think if we can show that we're gonna be a good partner, that it truly doesn't bring crime the way people think that it does, hopefully we can revisit that in the future.
What's further north?
Robin Wood and Woodhaven.
I was just curious about any if you put a sliver in there for office, like you said, an office facility, you could access it from the north or the south, potentially.
And then this is the Berkshires that are here, and that's owned by the same company, so there could be potential there, I would think, but there's no frontage, and you'd have the back of Berkshires
Yeah.
as your neighbor, so, I don't know what the answer is, but,
I don't know that would be a big problem if the back of the building was towards Berkshire's and the rest was
Right.
facing the park.
But we have solicited qualifications for planning and engineering firms to do a concept plan for this park and manage construction and that type of thing, and so hopefully the council will approve a firm at the end of this month, so. I don't think that's on your list, maybe it is.
You're thinking, Bob,
Yes,
is to do
park,
it on the
yes.
on the access road getting to the park.
I'm sorry,
Oh, down here.
I was trying to understand Bob's comment was for the entrance road further down, getting to the park would be. Is that right? You have some,
Well, I was actually thinking in a different location. I was
okay,
thinking of the land
we
and-
scrolled, that's right, so it's not there, that's why I was a little confused by that. So it's not along that access road, it's towards Hagen.
It's over on Hagen,
Over
the
Hagen,
land,
yeah,
the city bought this land right there.
Yeah.
The
We
rose
can-
fields.
let's go into
Gold
executive
Rose.
session and we can kind of
Okay.
talk about that.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, we're getting a little,
You were getting fun.
getting pretty far from website.
Yeah.
But I'm assuming on the website, we would have maps Or how would we display things? I mean, is that a consideration? I mean, what are y'all thinking in those terms as far as?
So properties owned by the EDC, how do
Yes.
we display that they're out there?
Yes.
So, do you wanna talk about that specifically? So, as part of the East Texas Economic Development District, they have access to, a mapping site that will show available properties.
Perfect.
And so, we at the staff level could control what is shown and not shown, so we could put that on there of city-owned properties, quality of life aspects. I mean, I think any number of layers can probably be added. So we did talk about that. That's included at no additional cost. So, we're excited about that. And one of the things we were discussing yesterday is one of the challenges I found kind of unique to Whitehouse is that commercial property owners aren't using commercial property brokers here, and so they're usually not listed. It's just kind of been word of mouth about what property is available. And so that's something we'll have to work to kind of overcome and make sure we're in close communication with those property owners. But so far, it's just kind of been because we've either had connections with those property owners or we know somebody's looking, that type of thing. But we will have that availability in the future. And then we also talked about putting access to our infrastructure maps on there as well, so that property owners or potential property owners could see what utilities were available for the sites they're looking at. They're two different systems, but they'll both be out there.
And then I'm assuming also all of the data for White House, like what's available through Encore or something, all that would be linked in there as well. So that it's sort of a one-site hub to be able to gain various info.
Yes.
The one thing I didn't ask about was whether or not traffic counts show on their GIS site. That would be important.
Takes five. That'd be good.
That would be great.
Yeah. Okay, anything else on the website?
I like that we're having one. It's one of the first things people go to check it out.
Yeah, it's like you're a real organization when you have, if you don't have a website, nobody thinks you exist.
That's right.
And a quality website.
Yes.
Yep.
I went to a website the other day for a community, and I'm like, whoa, there's nothing here.
Yeah.
And you kind of go, I'll see what else I can find. But it's having a good quality, informative website is critical. So thank y'all for everything you're doing.
Well, it will be simple. We're gonna start simple. We figure at this point, let's get started, and then we can always add to later. So we did start with just, I think 5 or 6 kind of pages to begin with, and then we can develop sub pages as we go. But I didn't want to really develop content for a full website would take a full year, I'm guessing, and so I'd rather let's get movement,
Right.
let's get it started, get our presence established, and we can always add to as we move on.
And what you have is it has depth and quality. So
Yes. Yeah.
even if it's simple, it's still quality.
And I think with those EdCog shared resources kind of on there, it's going to look like we have a lot more than
Yes.
just what we're able to do in-house. So I think it'll amplify our presence without amplifying necessarily the resources that we have. So I think that'll be good.
Excellent, that's terrific.
Okay. Anything else? Item number 2 is consider future agenda items, and if we're gonna go into executive session anyway, can we move that to the end after we, come back out of executive session? So that if there's something that we do need to take action on, or, if something comes up during that process, then we can address it at that point? Okay, so with that being said, receive reports from staff is the next section. I think you see the money in the bank and sales tax trends, and anyway, go ahead.
So one of the things you'll see on the sales tax payment trend is that our sales tax collections were down nearly $30,000 this for May, over last year's May. And that is because there was a significant refund to a single sales taxpayer in the month of May. So I think our collections would have been probably flat, but that refund accounts for about $24,000 of that $29,000 drop. So, it looks bad. I don't think it's as bad as it looks. Hopefully that's a one-time thing and we'll see those numbers at least level out, if not increase a little bit, so. Just kinda wanted to make you aware of that. And this particular business is located not inside the city limits, but I think they serve other businesses inside the city limits, so I don't know if they were incorrectly paying sales tax on things they shouldn't have, or I don't have any of that information, it just shows that it was a refund, so. Hopefully it won't happen again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was just talking with someone at the city of Tyler, they're seeing pretty steady 5% drop.
Which, like I said, I'm not too worried. We've seen, double-digit growth in our sales tax revenue for the last, 4 years at least. So, hopefully we can at least maintain our levels. There's not a lot of discretionary spending happening in Whitehouse, so hopefully those numbers will stay strong. Except for Amazon. I keep the levels high in Whitehouse for installations.
I don't know, I heard last month that, spam set an all-time sales record. Yeah,
Interesting.
that was, anyway, that,
I mean, we were down some the prior month, but not, it was $6,300. It was 5%, but that's $6,300, so.
Yeah.
We'll see what happens this next month.
inflation is a key player right now.
Yeah.
And, shouldn't be underestimated by anybody, I don't think. So, it's like nobody wants to talk about it, but it's a real deal.
Oh, yeah.
And anyway, okay, anything else on reports? Okay, the time is now 12:21, and we will close the regular meeting and move into executive session. Okay. Time is now 1:08, and we are out of executive session, returning into our regular Economic Development Corporation meeting. There is no action to take as a result of the executive session, but we did move agenda item 2, consider future agenda items, to the end of the ballot. So is there anything that you guys would like to discuss in a future agenda?
Potential, commercial development consultants.
Okay. Continuing follow-up on the website. Anything else?
Trying to think of it. Any potential land opportunities?
Okay. And I guess the final point is that we had committees at one point for our different points that we kind of fell off the wavered path on that trajectory or whatever. Probably need to revisit where we're at with our 4 different strategies going forward, and especially now that we're going to have a website and some marketing, and I think it's time to probably re-engage those things again. So let's have a conversation about that.
Updating them, kind of a thing, yeah.
Yep. Yep. Anything else? That's all I have, unless somebody has any last thoughts. At this point, it is 1:09, and we are adjourned. 1:10, actually, but.
It changed on you.
Hit me